All right. Welcome to the podcast today. Really appreciate having you here. I'll just get you to quickly introduce yourself. Who are you? Where you've come from?
Yep. Kia ora. So my name is Tere and I review local eateries around Auckland and I'm the creator behind Matakai Foodie.
Awesome. I'm going to jump straight into history.
Yep.
So I'd like you to take us back to when did this start and why?
It actually started a while back,
Yeah.
ages ago, but I used to post constantly on my personal Instagram.
Okay. Yep.
And then everyone kind of just got annoyed about all you do is post food. So then I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just create a page.
Yeah.
So I created Insta.
Yeah.
And then during lockdown, TikTok, everyone
Blew up.
was opened up a TikTok account and then, So I just created my TikTok from during that time with all the bread making and DeLonga coffees and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So you just making stuff at home is where it started?
Kind of
Yeah.
So it was just I think my first, I can't remember what my first, it was Soul Bar.
Oh, okay.
It was one of my first
Yeah.
eateries on TikTok that I did a little review on and it went crazy, over,
really?
which was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, people actually watch this, the TikTok,
And was that back in 2020?
I think so,
Yeah.
So this was
Early days.
around
After lockdown and stuff.
after lockdown when we were allowed to go out.
Yeah. Back on the scene again.
Yeah.
I found so many of the creators we talked to started in that time.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't many people, right? So doing it.
Well, because I never I used to think, oh, TikTok, because it was the whole dancing platform,
Yeah.
but then people started doing those feta pasta.
Yeah,
Do you remember that went viral? So there's trends that people do, and I'm like, oh, I might as well just put my reviews here on TikTok.
I love it. And then what made you continue? How have you kept it up so long? What made you continue doing that consistently? Were people asking you to come? Is that what happened, or you just love it? You just eat out?
Yeah. So it's a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
It started off as a hobby.
Yeah.
And then I think people have approached me.
Yeah.
Or can you try this and review and tell us what you think? Or brands have come forward and been like, can you come by our restaurant and we'll gift you this, and
Yeah, interesting. When you we may as well jump straight into that then. When you when was the first brand who reached out or the first opportunity you had? What was that?
It was there's a agency called Better Social.
Okay, yeah.
So they reached out. They had these vodka in tubes. They were really cool. So 60% of vodka, 60% alcohol, and in these little vodka tubes. And I was like, oh, I'm taking that deal. So they were the first brand to get out to reach out to me and be like, hey, if we gift you these, then can you promote us?
Yeah.
And then it's just built on from there.
Yeah.
But just I think I'm at a stage now where I can comfortably decline stuff. There's there's a brand that's been reaching out quite a few times, but I think because a lot of content creators promote them, so I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Not worth it.
No, so it's starting from that first brand to now. I can comfortably be like, oh no, I don't want to promote this. So I can choose basically.
Yeah. You've got some authority there, right? Yeah, that's awesome. And that comes from doing it for long enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You build up credibility. Because you're not exactly the biggest creators.
No.
But because you've been so consistent with your style, I guess you got a niche audience, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't really do any other sorts of content on there.
No.
I haven't really seen any.
Yeah, no, I don't do the vlogs or it's more just behind the scenes. I don't really like to do the face to face. I'm trying. I'll probably get into it.
Yeah.
But I've sort of just I think because my thing is I find that people once they realize who you are, then they sort of change. She's coming in to review, and then you don't get the authentic when you go in and.
So people don't know, the staff don't know what you look like.
Yeah, so that's why kind of. Yeah. Not that I'm famous or anything, but
no. But it changes. I used to work in hospitality, right? I ran hotels for however long, 15 years. And you knew when reviewers were in. And you did what you had to do to make sure they had a good stay.
Yeah.
Because of course you did. I mean, when I was working, you didn't really have, influencers came towards the end of my career.
Yeah.
But early days, like you used to have like, I was in Australia, so you'd have like the Guardian or you'd have the Sunday Times and stuff come in, send their reviewers in.
Yeah.
Which it seems so funny now, like you'd never go to a newspaper and get them.
No. Yeah. It's a thing like, because, you have like those foodie magazines and stuff like Taste and all of that. But yeah, now people just like, it's all influencer.
No one reads that shit anymore. It's all on here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell me, how have you been, do you get paid deals through any of the restaurants?
There's a few.
Yeah.
So a few of those are paid.
Yeah.
Not a lot because I usually
gifting.
give like an agency or brand will ask for like my rate card.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I have no idea how to rate it because I'm like, I don't think like I'm not a big enough content creator.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool. We can dig into rate card. That's
great.
great.
And I was like, do I charge so I actually charge by like the amount of followers that I have.
Cool. Yep.
So like 1% per like 1,000 followers with TikTok and Instagram. Yep. So that's sort of what I do, like with But a few of these places they've reached out and they're paid.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And when at which stage of the journey do you remember the first one paying you? Like, do you remember when that was? Like what, like date kind of thing, like time frame?
I think it was not last year, the year before. Like 21. I think so. 21 or maybe it was last year. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So that whole bottomless, I've got like a bottomless brunch series.
Yeah. That was the first.
That was all paid. Yeah. That was like I've had like smaller payments, but that was probably like a larger one.
Yeah. And I mean, without giving any like specifics away, because I understand contractually you can't really talk about that, but like in a ballpark figure, like what are you currently charging for, say, a bottomless brunch video? Like in a ballpark, would you say?
Oh, not a lot. Like compared to what I know other people like charge. But yeah, like as I said, it's basically 1% per 1,000 views. So per 1,000. So like it'll be 20. Well, I think I've got like 22K at the moment followers. So it's 22 times 1. So you're pretty low.
So $220.
Pretty much.
For one video.
Yeah, for one video. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have heaps of fun today. We're gonna have heaps of fun.
Like, and that'll be like a reel, an Instagram reel, one static post, 3 stories, and 1 TikTok. So they get a shit ton of content, and that's how much I charge.
Post. Okay.
So I might
get you to do some work after this. Is that all it costs?
I combine my TikTok and my Instagram because a lot of them reach out through Insta.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of brands have found me through TikTok.
Yeah, and it's growing faster and faster with the TikTok. People realizing the benefit of TikTok too, because before people were real skeptical about TikTok.
Yeah.
Weren't sure, and Instagram was everything, and it's getting more and more attention because of how much more attention you get on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then in terms of outside of that, like outside of brand deals or people paying you to come in it, has there been any other ways that you've monetized this audience or done stuff?
So I had like a little side business which I used. So like it's called Matakai Treats, and I made like cinnamon rolls.
Nice.
So we just used the name Matakai, and then sort of leveraged that and brought a lot of my followers from TikTok and Instagram over to my cinnamon rolls page. But yeah, that started because like I didn't see any, like we don't have Cinnabon here. I was like, okay, what's an idea? Like how can I I've got this audience, how can I like create like a little side hustle?
Yeah.
And that again was like during the lockdown time. So you could like, that's when like there was a big boom in like all these small home businesses. And I was like, I'm going to jump on this train.
Cool.
So
Did it do well?
It did, but I kind of just stopped, so I didn't really like push it any further. It's just because like we started work again, and so I had to go back into the office. And
I know the feeling.
But so that's just kind of been on the side.
Do you still do it now?
When I can. I get a lot of customers asking like, when are you getting up? Up and running again, but it takes a lot of time.
Was it something that you love to do, or was it just something you did because you could?
Yeah, because I could.
Yeah,
mainly.
it's not like you don't yearn to make cinnamon rolls.
Pretty
for
much.
People.
Yeah. It was like little side hustle for me. So
tell us about this other stuff. Are these
so they're
commissionable
just
paid
like
stuff?
like,
Yeah, so you get paid per sale sort of thing?
yeah, I think they're like cost per click.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cost per click.
No, so yeah, per sale, sorry.
Cost per sale,
conversion,
yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these are like
Commissionable
CPS.
sales, yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of these brands will do that sort of stuff.
yeah,
It's good. It's like affiliate marketing, right?
Yeah, it is. So
There's nothing wrong with it.
it's affiliate marketing. The one that so I had the Fed one. They had sent me stuff, and that did a lot of people clicked on the links.
Yeah.
But it was converting it to a sale. Just get so far,
really?
they'll sign up and then that's it. So I'm damn it. So it's just trying to figure out how I can get them to go through the whole process. Yeah. But I do get a lot of people clicking the links.
Yeah.
And I can see it. It's just, yeah.
Getting them to convert.
Yeah.
100%. We're the same. Heaps of
Yeah.
people go into our links and click, but doesn't mean they're going to buy. They're
No,
just curious.
Yeah, just
They're
curious.
Yeah.
A lot of it anyway is that doesn't pay a lot. It's just
You need volume for that.
yeah.
Affiliate
much.
marketing works well when you're million
Millions,
followers.
yeah.
Yeah, because you need volume. Out of interest, in a month, what do you reckon? How many people would actually sell on that, or in a 3-month period? Just random.
Because I don't really
ballpark.
promote it. Probably I don't know, 100 people have clicked through. Yeah.
Click through, but they're not
Not
actually selling.
actually, no.
Do you get many of them actually selling, or very little?
No.
Yeah, I
Not
would
too much,
imagine
yeah.
too. It's a real hard thing to do. To do affiliate marketing well.
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to do affiliate marketing, you have to actually be fairly bullish about it. You have to actually tell your audience, this is how you support the channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You support the channel by going to buy the stuff. If you enjoy these things, please use my link.
Yeah.
You got to be quite bullish about it.
I don't know how to do that because I don't want to come across like a sellout.
It's hard. It's so hard. I don't actually really have the answer there. I find it real hard to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you have to be real, you have to have the brand to do it.
No, yeah.
You have to have earned the right to be able to ask.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do. I wouldn't get into it anyway. I think you got bigger opportunities of getting bloody $1 a sale.
Yeah.
They don't pay huge commissions, and
No,
they know
no.
they don't, right? Because a lot of these places don't have big profit margins.
No. So the ones that obviously the ones that get a lot of click through are the Fed, the ones that I've actually promoted on my page, and but the other ones I'm they don't really.
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't get a whole lot. And look, to be honest, that's why a lot of creators make real simple e-commerce stuff, digital assets to sell. Could you make a cookbook, a digital cookbook?
Yeah.
And where it's all yours. So at least you get the whole $30.
Yeah.
And then you only need, if you got 100 people buying that a month, that's $3K.
Yeah.
You'd happily take that. But if you did it as affiliate link, it's maybe get $3.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
So I tend to say if you're going to do something like affiliate marketing, when you're small, just have your own small product. It's those fitness influencers or PTs who sell digital plans.
Yeah.
Those guys. They do all right. They do a couple grand a month just selling $30 plans or meal plans or workout plans or whatever. And that's the same plan for everyone.
Yeah.
So there's some work up front you've got to do to make them. But honestly, these days, you can just ask AI to help you make it and you make it way faster. Then you just finesse it to make it a matter to you.
Yeah.
Don't use AI to come up with the ideas because then you just sell an AI product. But use AI to go, I've got this idea. I need help figuring out how to turn it into an asset, a digital asset.
Yeah.
And AI can give you those answers really well. And then you use your own skills to really flesh it out. But that could be better than this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you could say you could do a video of you making that particular dish and be hey, you can buy this recipe fully in depth for $5.
Yeah.
Buy the recipe for $5. It's got all the ingredient list, everything. And you could what I mean? You could have a little series where you sell them and you might get 20 people buy them.
Yeah.
$100 is more than you're going to get off that.
Yeah.
And it gives you content ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some ideas. Okay. I like this. This is good. There's heaps to pull into this. First, I love that you started as a hobby.
Yeah.
I think that's really good because tell me, that must have been most of the reason why you continued.
It is, like, it was a hobby. And then when I realized, like, people were actually watching my stuff, like, okay, my family always mock me. They're like, people listen to you, people, like, watch your content. They, like, keep me level-headed. Like, but, you know, so they'll watch, like, because I, like, get people messaging me. And then, like, these brand deals, I'm like, oh, I can actually, like, take this somewhere. Like, it's not just like I've turned it into from a hobby into like I can actually
make some money.
Make some money from this.
In terms of goals, what are the goals with it? Like, what would you in the next year? What would you love? Like, come this time next year, and let's say we're doing another podcast. What would you love to be able to say? This is where I got to. And being able to deal with it.
Oh, I've never really thought that far.
Do you know have you ever thought about like where you see it going? Do you ever see it being like, this is now my main gig? Do you see it leveraging something else in another business?
I could, only because, like, obviously I've got to put in the work for it. But I just, it was just a hobby kind of thing. And then actually, people actually take my advice. I don't know, like.
So you're just kind of going with it at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. See where it takes me, and then, like, I actually used this for, like, so I actually used it to try and get an idea on how to, like, sell stuff or, like, how to, like, advertise on social media kind of.
Yeah.
So, like, I did my degree in, like, a bachelor, like, in PR.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like my little, like, experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So this works. This doesn't work. Like, So, like, if you see a lot of like, I've known now, like, content that I post, like, these would do really well on TikTok. So those are, like, little brand, like, those are all gifted.
Yeah.
You can see, like, they're, like, product stuff.
Yeah.
That have been sent to me. They do well on Instagram. They don't do well on TikTok. So I've, like, this is like my little thing, how I've realized, like, okay, cool, that works.
Yeah.
This works on this platform. This doesn't work on that platform. So I think that's sort of where I've been heading towards this, like, what I've actually turned it into, like, my little experiment.
I think so too. Like, I reckon because you've done so much content and so many different things, like, your best asset at the moment is not doing brand deals, but going to these small places and be like helping them strategize their content.
Yeah.
Because, like, so many of these little places can't afford, like, an agency with us. Like, they're not going to pay our rates because of all the overheads that we have to charge them for. But as, like, solo freelance creators, you can charge lower rates because it's only you. You know, you don't have to pay for this fucking place. You don't have two people just sitting in while you make content, right? You can do whatever you want. So it's way more affordable for you to produce content for, say, like, let's say you went to, like, Grown Up Donuts and we're like, look, instead of leveraging my audience, I know what will work to help your socials grow.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you pay me this small retainer to come and help you yourselves make good content?
Maybe not them.
Yeah, well, maybe not them. Maybe not them.
They blocked me on Instagram.
Oh, did they? You have to tell us the story now. You can't lead into that.
They blocked me on Instagram, so I was like, oh. See, I was going to be petty and be like, no, I'm not going to include you in my donut series. But then, no, they were actually really good. They blocked me because I said that like, the first 2 times I tried them, they were quite mediocre, the donuts.
Honestly?
They full on just...
They're not good. Like, no offense to Grown Up Donuts, but
I went the 3rd time, so this 3rd time I've been, they've improved.
Okay,
so
good.
like
we refuse to go back.
I drove all the way out west for that.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have to try it again if they've improved. There you go, Grown Up Donuts. Just fix your shit and people will come back. That's it, right? Like, in this day and age, you can't have shit product because there's so many options.
Yeah.
And so I like it that you said.
I said it on my TikTok.
And it's probably been a good thing for them to be like, get that hurt response to go out and try and make their shit better. Like, there's no point getting fake reviews.
No,
because it's worse. Because imagine, like, 100 people went from you to go try and it's crap.
No, that's the thing. Like, that's kind of like why I don't want to, like, show my face or anything, because, like, I don't want to go in, they make it really good, and then I get, like, all these people to go there and they're like, you're such a liar. Yeah. It was shit.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you should ever show your face.
I just prefer it that way. Like, a lot of like my partner's always in
Yeah.
it. So he's like my the guy to be inside. Like
thrown under the bus. Yeah. It's like Zachary. Can you put Zachary in the search bar? The guy who does the philanthropy ones. On TikTok. Do a TikTok search. He's 17 million or something followers, and yeah, that guy, the top one, he never shows his face. Like, you can find videos with him in, but like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's got his face in his profile and stuff, but like most of these videos, his big viral videos, you won't see his face.
Yeah.
Look at him, 54 million. Like, what he does is he tells real good stories.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. And he gets his voice, but so do you. You have your voice and yours. So anyway, we can go back. But my point of it is that there's no need to show a face. He'll do some where he does faces because he'll be like sitting in a chair or something.
Yeah.
So he does do some.
Yeah.
But that's not how his content evolved. So there's heaps of examples of people blowing up without.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You definitely don't need it. And you actually just have to look to YouTubers. Some of the biggest channels I watch are all stock footage. They just tell good stories over top of stock footage.
Yeah.
So they'll just go to like story blocks, grab videos other people made, put it on, and then tell a narrative over top of it.
Yeah.
And they'll get 10 million views. So anyway, long story short, I don't think you should ever do it. And also that anonymity is quite cool. For you to have. I reckon it's a cool selling point. Do you ever get like people like commenting like face reveal?
No.
You should start a storyline to get them to get that. And you should make that a thing, like give people show your face.
So I went.
Yeah.
So I went on live for like just for the kick of it, like on TikTok.
Yeah.
And because they see him a lot, so like a few of my followers were like, "Oh, where's Joe? Like, where's your partner?" Like, oh,
more famous than you now. I love it. That's the best. Okay, cool. So I feel like I got a lot of stuff I still want to unpack. The hobby bit's good. What I really love about that is that so many people get into this trying to go business straight away or trying to like. They make it because they've got an end to it. Like there's a goal. Whereas like the best creators, the ones who have the longevity are the ones who do it because they love it. Yeah. It's a hobby. Like we had Lewis in here last week and that was for him. He's like, I don't even care if I didn't have 1 million followers, I'd still be doing this because I love making content and I love what I do.
Yeah. I love his TikToks.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he's such a good storyteller. And that was a lot of what he talked about, his storytelling and what he does. And his is built out a hobby as well, which is cool. Then rate card, I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Because rate cards are one of those things that like are a stupid industry norm. Like they don't make sense really. Yeah. But everyone asks for a rate card. Half the people asking for it don't really know what it means. What they're trying to say to you is like, we want to know how much you cost. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's not a black and white answer on socials. Like it could be anything. Why are you doing this? Who are you as a brand? Like, what you charge one brand is not what you're going to charge another brand and things like that. So it's so subjective. So I tend to shy away from having a rate card. Yeah. What I tend to say is like, what are you trying to achieve? Let's break that down and I'll quote you based on what you're trying to do. Yeah. If you just want a video, if that's all you want is me to come and review you and you want to pay me to do that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can pretty much give you a price for that. So like rate cards like a hard thing because then otherwise the other thing too is like you send it to them. And then maybe 6 months later, they're like, "Oh yeah, can I still get you?" Like, no, no, that's over, bro. Like, that was 6 months ago. Yeah, yeah. I
never know, and plus, like, I never know where to like whether I'm pushing. Like, there was a brand that contacted me, and I sort of like was like, no, "If it, I'll just $1,000, take it or nothing." And they were like, oh, "Okay, no, never mind. We don't have the budget for that." And I was like, "Oh God, like I just missed out." And then like I've had another brand deal where like. It was to do with like some like gambling and stuff, but I've got like they were offering a bit of money. Yeah.
Because it's illegal to do it. That's
I know, and I was like, I'm not doing that. One because of that, and then like I mean also just like ethics. Like I've got family that are recovering, so
and that's why they do it because they're not allowed to do it, so they get influencers
people.
To do it.
So I'm like, I've known that, so I'm like, no.
No, you don't want to do it. No. I mean, you probably won't get in trouble for doing it. You might get a slap on the wrist, but it's not worth it. No. It's not worth it. No. And TikTok doesn't want it to happen either because they can get in trouble. So they'll potentially even ban you for doing it and stuff. Yeah, it's not worth it. Tell me quickly, before we dig into rate card, I forgot to ask, in terms of like financially, your personal financial situation, do you need the revenue here to pay rent, survive, pay mortgage, whatever it is? Like, do you need that, or is it a nice to have?
It's a nice to have.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be good if I could live off it.
Yeah, it'd be good if you could live off on it, but like, you're not gonna, like, your power's not gonna go off next week because you don't get a brand deal.
No.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, it's like a real interesting decision and place to be. Yeah. Like, if we go back to Lewis as an example, his will right now, he can't take risks, too big a risks.
Yeah.
Because it is how he pays for his lifestyle.
Yeah.
But you're in a different spot where like you have an opportunity to take bigger risks to get the bigger fruit later on. Which it's a real interesting thing. You can slowly build up your rate card over time to more and more. However, you're always like, what's happening is that brands are, they're essentially like just using you.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the best they can out of you. And you're better off having less opportunities that pay more than more opportunities that pay less, right? So like if you get 1 for 1,000 versus 5 that pay you 200, it's probably better. But then you also have to think, because your whole thing's reviews, so you also need content. And without content, you don't have a channel. Yeah. So some of your content costs you money. Yeah. So it costs you to go make content. So there's that balance. You got to find a real balance of like, do I take gifts, low fees just to get content, or what do I do and how do I do it? And so I think like it's a real delicate conversation, and it will come down to like, what's the size of the business asking? Yep. Soon as it's like a brand owned by a big brand, like, you know, like a multinational brand, those guys are always going to screw down. They're always going to get the cheapest thing you can, but those guys have the most money. Yeah. Whenever they say we don't have much of a budget, it means they have heaps of budget.
Yeah. Like the triple stacker one, I think.
This one?
Yeah. So that was,
Texas chicken?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And yeah, I just like sort of, because I was like, oh, low ball. But I know they're like a massive international chain, and you know they've got like the marketing budget.
And did you go in low?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, well, I think they'll like turn me away if I.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that's hard about that is that often when they're big brands, I mean, it might be okay here, but often when they're big brands, like let's say this, like KFC might not want to do work with you now. Yeah. Right? Because they're like, well, can't, you've promoted these guys. Yeah. You're kind of in a unique situation because like you don't have loyalty to one brand. Yeah. It's not like if you're working with like, oh, Ford buys my car, so therefore I can't go and do something for Hyundai. Yeah. It's not that. But like KFC might be like, oh, we don't probably want to work with you for 3 months. Yeah. Because of that. And they might have a big campaign rolling out and you miss out. Because, oh, I just did some tests. So you have to price that in.
I've also, because like I did one for like a pizza thing, and then like Pizza Hut. I was like, great. Yeah. I've got to, because I've already just promoted like this one brand.
Exactly. It puts you out for a while, right? Yeah. And you can almost say that, Texas. I actually like, I'm talking to KFC as well at the moment. They want me to do an ad. I can't do both of you. Yeah. So therefore, like, this is my rate. Like, you can use that sort of leverage. You not even talk to KFC once. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, right? It's that sales. Like, you got to talk the stories. You don't have to necessarily say KFC, but you say, like, I'm talking to another chicken brand. Yeah. And just to make yourself put your piece, have peace of mind, just email them. KFC. Yeah, I've talked to them. Yeah. They just don't talk back. No, but okay, so that's cool. So there's price point. So there's like this real delicate thing. And you're currently charging on 1% of followers. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So per like 1,000.
Per 1,000. Yeah. Yeah, so $1 per 1,000.
So like, so when I say 1%, so it's like per 1% per 1,000. So it'd be like, oh my gosh, I had it written down, but kind of like, so if it's 22K, then I think it's like, like $220.
Yeah, $220. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, so 1%. Yeah. Right, 1%. So one of the things about, in today's world, about charging for followers is it actually means very little to how many views you're going to get. Yeah. So it used to be a more correlated thing on Instagram. Yeah. Because like you would have a certain, like 1% on Instagram was fine because actually you used to get 1%. You used to roughly get, for every post I do, I'll get 1% engagement based on my followers. Yeah. And so therefore you could pay for that engagement. It doesn't really work like that anymore. The platforms have shifted.
Yeah.
TikTok changed the way things are. I mean, you know that. Like, you can have a brand new account and get 1 million views.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work that way. So what I tend to say to people is like, work on viewership with minimum fees.
Yeah.
And then it's incentive to make your content better, because the more views you get, the more money you get. And so you might go, for instance, oh, look, I averaged 10K views. Hang on. Let me start this again. So you might have like, I have CPM, so cost per 1,000 views.
Yeah.
That's how most brands are used to paying for viewership on these platforms, right?
Yeah.
So when they go to TikTok to boost a piece of content, they will go, hey, I want to give you $10 for every 1,000 views I get. So that's how they usually will work. Yeah. And that's usually somewhere between like $5 and $15 is what they call a CPM.
Yeah.
And so let's say you've got $10. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to forget it as I tell you. But let's say you got $10 per 1,000 views. Then this video here would have got $365 for that video, right? And that's kind of how you would play it out, because 36 times $10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that is usually a better way to do it, because they get it and understand it. But you don't have to do $10. You can put that up to 20 or 30. And the reason being is when you do a TikTok ad, you might pay $10 per 1,000 views, right? But when you're doing a targeted audience ad through you, because your audience loves food and follows you, they're a higher value audience. So they're more willing to pay $20 or $30.
Yeah.
So that could be from $360 to $1,000. You get $1,000, and you invoice them post. Like, you go, look, I'm going to put it up. 90% of my views will come in the first week.
Yeah.
And then I'll invoice you after that for whatever it is. There's a minimum charge of $250 though, or whatever it might be, right? And then you have to be making better content.
Yeah, because I think that's why I did more of the followers then. Because I'm like, oh, what happens if it flunks out? Like,
the thing is like $250 for a piece of content is nothing for a brand.
Yeah.
It's nothing for a local cafe. Like, a local cafe can pay $250 for one video to go out and maybe get that, right? Get a whole bunch. $250 is paying up to, let's call it $20 per 1,000. Let's say they're getting 12,000 views.
Yeah.
I'd pay $250 for 12,000 views. That's good value on a targeted audience. So you could put your minimum at $250. So you say, look, up front, it's $250. But it's also $20 per 1,000 views above that, right?
Yeah.
So if you get to 100,000, they have to pay you $2,000.
Yeah.
And then you say, I invoice you 7 days after.
You can do that.
100%. That's how heaps of people do this. That's how whenever we've done a brand deal, that's how we always do it. We had a company pay us $5,000. We did it $20 per 1,000 views because it was an international company.
Yeah.
And that video got 250,000 views.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do that maths, right? That's like $5,000. Yeah. And they were happy to pay it.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, fine. That's good. That's good value marketing.
Yeah.
So I would tend to say that's a better way for you. Like, honestly, even $250 is a low minimum.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a confidence issue thing there, because when you first start to do it,
that's hard. I'm like,
I get it. Yeah. That's sales. It's hard to like look in the mirror and be like,
I'm like,
$2,000. Like, but like, one of the things about doing like UGC content and influencer content and stuff is there's a risk, because as a brand, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, look, I don't know either. At $250, that's my base cost to come in. You have to give me the stuff. I'll come in, do it. Give me $250 for the work.
Yeah.
That's actually very cheap for them, because
for
them to get a freelancer and to come and film that would cost them more. Like a freelance videographer who won't make as good content as you, because freelance videographers don't know socials the same way.
Yeah.
They just know how to take pretty videos.
Yeah.
So you're making relevant content for the platform for $250, and you're saying to them, if I can get this to blow up on my socials, which you get more attention to, you pay me this difference.
Yeah.
And this is it. Uncapped. You know. I mean, they might want to put a cap, but if you can get uncapped in the contract, imagine if you get a 1 million view video.
Damn.
It's like $20,000 they have to pay
dream.
you.
Dream.
Some most businesses will want to put a cap on it.
Yeah.
The small businesses won't think about a cap. You probably can't charge a small business $20,000 once.
No.
You'll probably have to do
because that's mainly like a lot of my followers that came from Instagram and TikTok. They love, like, I get a lot of views on the small businesses because that's sort of like
what they want.
Yeah. Like, so I did a lot of like small home businesses.
Yeah.
And like, I don't charge them. If they'll come to me, I'm like, I can't because I feel really bad like them.
But you need content.
But yeah, so I like use it more for content and like
100%.
getting. But yeah,
100%. We talked about this thing up on the board behind me, the Ponsonby thing, and part of the strategy there is to go to all the small guys to get content out of them.
Yeah.
And long term, as that builds, go to the big guys to charge them.
Yeah.
Because the big guys can pay.
Yeah.
Small guys will never be able to pay. But you know, like going to Texas Chicken, they can pay. Why not go? Like you could have done $700 and something bucks out of them pretty easily.
Yeah.
You might have got even with them, I would have put a higher minimum.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to have different minimums.
Yeah.
Based on brand.
Yeah.
And brands know that. Like brands get it.
Yeah.
If I'm McDonald's, I understand you're charging me more than you're going to charge a local burger eatery. Of course. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
We know what we're worth.
Yeah.
But also, I'm going to make way more money than that local burger store because McDonald's could go viral on you and you could have an audience all over the world and all those people could go get McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you're doing like Ashby Cafe, and if I'm in America, I can't eat Ashby. I can't even get a pie in America.
Yeah.
They don't even have them. You know what I mean? So like he like that 32,000. I don't know what your stats are like, but and don't tell them publicly on here. I don't want to give away your secrets. But 31,000 of those people might not be in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So Ashby Cafe actually only got 1,000 viewership from New Zealand who could actually buy, and then off New Zealand only 30% were in Auckland. You know, I'm not saying that's the truth. But it's way harder. Like that's why the value to Ashby's nowhere near what the value is to McDonald's. So long story short, I reckon your model for your rate card moving forward is why don't you have a couple of minimum fees? So you have like a local minimum fee and a global minimum fee for like global brands or big brands, or even just big brands in New Zealand. Yeah. And it might be like $250 and $1,000.
Yeah.
And then you have on top of that $20 per CPM per 1,000 views. And with the big brands, you still have it that 1,000 is 50,000 views.
Yeah.
So $1,000 is 50,000. Yeah, so I did the math right. Yeah, 50,000 views. For 1,000. So what you're saying to him is like, you owe me $1,000 for this piece of content, regardless, but that pays up to 50,000 views.
Yeah.
And then after that, you pay me $20 per 1,000. So if you get 100,000, you'll get $2,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over time, what you'll realize is that actually even $1,000 is cheap for the big brands, and you'll be able to slowly push higher and push higher.
Yeah.
What I tend to tell people is like every job you do, charge more.
Yeah.
Because like you build confidence. It's not where a lot of people get like really confused about this is like, oh, that's a bit shit. Like we had a lot of people on previous podcasts going, oh, you shouldn't just be charging more because you can. And it's like, well, I don't really agree because like the reason you can charge more is because you've built more influence with more people. That's a skill. That's a valuable asset that people want.
Yeah. Just
the same way as like my house, not my house, but like people who own houses in St. Mary's Bay, they can charge $6 million for those houses because over time that area has become very valuable.
Yeah.
Your area that you occupy on digital has become more valuable over time. Yeah. So you can put your prices up over time. And that's what it is. Whereas you're like, oh, but it's just one video.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's like, how many videos have you done? Hundreds.
Like, yeah.
So it's not one video. Like that wasn't one video for Ashby. That was hundreds of videos that led to that one video.
Yeah.
And people don't think like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, my point being is, I reckon your rate card, you have like just for your confidence, start at $250 local, 1,000 global, plus say $20 per 1,000. Start off there, and you sell it to people going, look, I have a minimum fee to come out and do it, my time and all my effort and all this sort of stuff. It's probably 5 hours work for me to do this. So I'm charging you $250.
Yeah.
It's $50 an hour. It's not that bad to pay a freelancer.
Yeah.
But there's upside. If this video goes really big, I get $20 per 1,000 views. Yeah. Anything above 12,500 views. And you work out the math. You do it later off camera. And then the local brands might be like, okay, what's my cap though? I can't give you 10 grand.
Yeah, after.
Well, you tell me. 2K. 2K is all I can give you. Okay. So for 2K, I need to get 100,000 views.
Yeah.
If you get 100,000 views, that's pretty fucking good video. So you're going to do well. Same thing for the global brands. You're just changing the numbers.
Yeah.
And if they ever find out, who cares? They just tell them, like, and if the global brand's like, why are you charging me $1,000 to go? Because you're a global brand. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have a bigger, just be honest with them. I do it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, I charge you more than I charge small guys.
Yeah.
They can't afford it. The value's not there for them. So that'll be my first thing on rate card. Like, just jack that up. Like, don't use the follow one. That model's outdated now.
Yeah.
It used to be the thing.
Yeah.
It's what you used to do. It doesn't work as well anymore.
Yeah.
Because you don't need lots of followers to get lots of views. And actually, when I'm paying you as a brand, I'm not paying you for your followers. I'm paying you for the views.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And engagement. A lot of it.
Yeah, engagement.
Like, most of them will send stuff, but yeah, a lot of it. Only a few, like the Texas chicken one, like they'll ask for like the analytics after to see like what the engagement is and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's post. They've already paid. Who cares? They've already contracted. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, it went like this. They might not use you again.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it went really well, they might be like, oh, that's great. Can we do another one?
Yeah.
Like, we got a new product coming out next month or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah.
Who cares? Just give them the analytics. They're paying for it. I would give it to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're paying for it. I'd take a screenshot of the analytics page and just send it straight to them.
Just in. Oh.
Yeah, who cares? It is. They paid for it, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's already, most of it's paid. Like,
And if it doesn't do well, too bad. That's your fault. I took the risk on me.
that's why I feel
Maybe
bad.
maybe
like,
your chicken burger sucks. Yeah, maybe make your chicken burger better and I would have got more views. You know. I don't reckon you should worry about that. I don't think it's an issue. Okay, cool. So that's rate card. So, I mean, you can always ask me these questions later on if you need to as well about how you do it. I also think you do a lot for it in terms of stories, IG Reel, static post. I don't think you should stop doing that. I think that's really good value add.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of pieces of content. That's like 5 pieces of content. Like, you got a reel, TikTok. No, 6 pieces.
So a reel, static post, 3 stories, Insta stories, and then TikTok.
And TikTok, because even though they're probably the same, right? The reel
and
still 6 pieces of content. Still 6 pieces. Yeah. That's a lot for like $220.
Yeah.
Like, you think about that's less than $40 a piece of content.
Yeah.
If you went on to a copywriter who would write copy for an Instagram post and just got them to just go write me a post for Instagram, which is like maybe 200 characters, they'll charge you $80. Easy.
Just for 200. What the heck?
Just for the caption. Anywhere from like $40 to $80 they'll charge you for that. A freelance one, right?
Yeah.
We'd charge you way more than that. But like a freelancer, I mean, we have to. We got overheads and stuff, but freelancers don't. So they will charge you $40. You're a freelancer, so you got to level up to the same thing. $40 to $80 just for the text as a copywriter. They haven't even charged you to take the photo. And then on yours, you're also distributing it. So they're paying also for your audience.
Yeah.
So you're charging them less than $40 for production, distribution.
Yeah.
That is cheap, man.
Yeah.
Like, super cheap. Like it annoys me that these brands let this happen because it cheapens the whole industry. But that's not your fault. This is why I told you at the beginning before we started this. It's good to talk about money. Yeah. Because like people don't know, and it keeps people in the dark. And if you don't know, brands will exploit it, and so they should. Yeah, yeah. I would. Yeah, yeah. 100%. Like, I think you should be paid more, but I will 100%.
Well, I wouldn't know any better, and like I'll just be like, oh, I don't think imposter syndrome.
That's it. Yeah. I honestly reckon that like it's not. There are brands who only want to pay $250. Yeah. Fine, if you want the job, take it. But like there's so many food outlets and food places that will pay you $1,000 for a piece of content for one piece of content. Yeah. Not even the stories, not even the reel. They're getting that as bonus.
And then do you like? I've never approached a brand. They've always approached me. So would I approach? Like, if I wanted to take it further, like, would I approach them or because I don't really like? Yeah.
That's sales. Like, you can. It depends. So we don't really approach a lot of brands as a business because we put out so much content, they come to us. Yeah. We are different in that we're a business, you're a creator, so it's a different dynamic. People, they see our services as a different thing to the way they see you, so that's why. But there's no reason why you can't reach out. Why not? Just go down Ponsonby Road after this and knock on all the doors and be like, hey, you need some content made?
Yeah.
Man, you know how many restaurants and cafes and stuff down there would like pay you $1,000 to $2,000 a month to just run their socials?
No.
Do a couple posts a week? You might not want to do it, but like, you know what I mean?
But no, yeah, people would do that. Oh,
yeah, they would do it.
Yeah.
Like, I think long term that is a business model for you. I don't know if you should do that because you enjoy making content. The moment you turn the content making stuff into a business, you start hating it. It's like Joni who works for us. Like, she fucking hates it that it's her job.
People like I think people like because it started off as like a hobby.
Yeah.
But then these brands come. I'm like, oh shit, I have to like put this out, and then it turned from like liking it to like, frick, I have to go post this, and then like and then I have to like do it and keep my daughter quiet. Like, so I'm like, shh. So she knows now. I'm like, Mommy's doing a voiceover. Yeah. She's like, okay. Like,
love it. Yeah,
so
it is hard. Yeah, it is hard. It takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Like I was saying with Janie, right? Like, there's moments throughout the week, often, that she will be like, I did this for fun and now I have to do it. Because if she doesn't do it, she doesn't get a job.
Yeah.
And so there is an element there, so you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say get your rate card sorted and your prices up is you can do less, which then pays for you to go do the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
So I talk about this all the time with people. I do heaps of like pro bono shit for people like that we should be charging stupid money for.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this weekend on Sunday, I'm going to Tokoroa for a Impact Hub, who not-for-profit social enterprise stuff. There'll be like 15 people. I'm going to do some talks. I would usually charge 10 grand for that plus travel, but I'm going to do that for free. And the reason I'm doing it free is because Nanise, who owns it and runs it, I love her. She's amazing. Like, she's such a cool woman. She's doing really cool shit. And so I essentially charge the brands I work with what we charge them. So I have the time and energy to go do that stuff. So in your world, that looks like you big restaurants, you big brands, you pay me what it's worth because I know how much you guys spend on this stuff.
Yeah.
So you pay me what I'm worth. So I can go to the local business who works at a home and blow them up for free.
Yeah.
And don't charge them ever. But that gets you content as well.
Yeah.
It's like the guys who do the lawn mowing. Yeah. We talk about this today. We're talking about it. Like the guys who do the lawn mowing for free.
Yeah.
They go around people's houses. Yeah. Those guys make stupid money on YouTube. I watch way too much of that shit. You know?
Yeah, I wondered, like, I saw it on TikTok, the guy that's like, I'm doing it for free. I'm like, how
YouTube.
do you, like,
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's where the money is.
Yeah.
I actually think that's where, I was going to get into that later. I've got on my notes here, say, you need to get onto YouTube. Are you doing it on YouTube at all?
No.
You don't put it, no. Do you put the shorts on YouTube?
No.
Oh, yeah, you should 100% start.
I'm like, oh.
Do you know Chasing a Plate?
Yes. Yeah, I love their content.
But that's their full-time gig.
Yeah.
They just travel the world. I mean, they got locked in lockdown for years.
Yeah.
Doing stuff. But she's pregnant now too.
Yeah,
so they're probably going to be here for a little while now. Their content's awesome.
Yeah.
They get paid for doing it. I don't necessarily think you have to do that. I think you could build up a shorts channel.
Yeah.
I watch heaps of chefs and food content. My YouTube stuff's got heaps of food content.
Yeah.
My TikTok doesn't have as much, but my YouTube does. It's all like food content and science and economics. Like those are my three like stupid things. But like I think you should because you love the creative.
Yeah.
What if you could just have YouTube pay you to make creative? That'd be awesome. Imagine just doing food reviews and YouTube pays you.
Yeah.
Pays you for views. That would be better.
Yeah.
That would be epic. That's a whole different ballgame. It's a 4-year plan. To do that. It's not a quick thing. No. But hey, you've been doing it for 3.
Yeah.
What's another 4? Right? Like start building on YouTube now. Like just putting shorts out. Like putting these, just post here, but also post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And just let it build organically. People love food talk. Come on.
They do. Yeah.
People love it. They love it. I watch every night. That's the other thing on mine. One of the food stuff I've got on mine is food challenges.
Yes.
Like eating challenges.
Yeah.
Like I watch every night we watch a Bed Meets Food episode. Every night. Way too much. And now I'm like I feel like I'm a competitive food eater because I've watched so much. You know? It's like when you watch rugby or league and you think back, I could do that. I could play that. Nah, fuck, I'm too slow these days. So okay, back on track. We're getting off track. So rate card, there are different models. think of a model that allows you to get a minimum plus. Like,
Yeah.
if I do well, you owe me more money.
Yeah.
I think you should work that way. That'll give you confidence to start charging more, which then in time allows you to set your minimum higher.
Yeah.
And then as you build up that and you're getting like 1 to 2K a deal, which could take you time because you're going to build confidence. It's not, I get it. It's not easy to just have the confidence to do that.
No.
But it's hard. It's hard. But you could get to, say you get to 4 of those a month. Is that enough to then quit your job? You're getting 8 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can make more content, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you can start doing you cooking stuff, right? And
Yeah.
then you can make other series and help more small businesses and all the other sort of crap you could do.
Yeah.
It's not that far-fetched to get to that point, especially when you're doing food things. Because you know how many eateries there are in Auckland?
Yeah. I didn't realize there's a lot. And even when I like looking at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I eat all of that? Yeah, you can tell, but like, I'm like looking at that now. I actually haven't, it's quite confronting.
It's heaps. There's heaps. And that's only you. Like, you know, to be honest, if you count all your videos, and you, like just in the Ponsonby area, like say there's 200 eateries just in the Ponsonby area. Like you take Greyland, Ponsonby, Freeman's Bay, all that area, there's probably 200 places. That's one sort of suburb. Go to Parnell, you go out south, you go north, you go west. There's thousands. So there's heaps of recurring revenue. Yeah. And then you go back to them. And like there's new places popping up all the time. So you're never going to run out of content. You're never going to run out of places to go. You're never going to run out of customers. Yeah. So you could easily get to 5 to 10K a month in these sorts of things. It's just like figuring out a way. How do you charge it the right way? How do you get into this? How do you sell it? Yeah. What I would try to do is for the local places that are big, try and never to sell on email. Okay. Because how are you talking to them now? They're DMing you and emailing.
Yeah. So it's a lot of DM and then or like just sending emails. Yeah.
So let's say like Long Room up the road in Ponsonby wanted to use you and they emailed you. You just be like, cool, I'll pop in on Saturday and we'll chat or whatever. Because that's way easier to sell in person. Yeah. In email, the reason why in email, all they have to do is go, nah. Yeah. And then what can you do? You're stuck. And you try email back, they just don't reply. But what if you go, hey, I'll come see you. Yeah, look, here's my proposal. Here's what I can do. This is my pricing. Yeah. Oh, look, it's a bit outside of our budget. What's your budget? Oh, well, maybe we wanted a base of 800, not 1,000. Okay. Yeah. I'll take it. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? So you can negotiate better. Yeah. Or on the phone, like heaps of people go through email. It doesn't work. Yeah.
It's a little bit easy. It's kind of like you're almost cornered them when you're like face to face. They don't really. Yeah.
People hate to decline. People are real suck at saying no and declining. So they just ghost you. Yeah. Like how many emails you just don't get a reply from? Yeah. Heaps say. Yeah. Same. So if I ever have a proposal out with people and it's an email to them and that's the last contact that I've had, like I've sent them a proposal, I just call it lost. Okay. Even if they come back later, maybe they do, but so infrequent that as soon as they're like, oh, can you just send us a proposal? I'm like I'll send you, I got a generic one, I'll just send them. I won't make them a proposal and I'll just put it straight to lost. That's a lost deal. Oh, yeah. They're not coming, they're not coming back. No. But if you pick up the phone and you go see them, the chances of converting go right through the roof, which is why we bring everyone into the building, like New Zealand based anyway, Auckland based. That's one of the reasons we built such a large lounge area is so that, and made this place the way it is that this building does most of my sale for me. Like I bring them in, they're like, wow, they see the team, and then I talk through the problem, and now they're here and they feel comfortable, they're more likely to do the deal. So that'll be my first tip. Get your rate cut up and then do more sales in person or on the phone or video call. Like one of those 3 mediums, not email. Okay. You're going to lose everything through an email. Yeah. We negotiated a deal for one of our team. I probably shouldn't give specifics of this one away, but we negotiated a deal with him the other day with an agency. Yeah. And that was like all done on phone. Like it would never, like if we had it done on email, we would have got 10K less easy. Yeah. Because they just sent an offer. I rang. We're not okay with the offer. Okay, well, I can give you this. Yeah. They would never have done that. Email, they would have went, nah, don't worry, we'll find other people. So, yeah, definitely.
It's like confidence as well.
It's confidence, like, You know what? You have to be okay to get no's. Yeah. Actually, like, this is like a whole nother topic now, but like sales training, one of the things I try to tell people, one of the things I got taught real early in sales is sales is a numbers game. A percentage of the people you talk to will buy from you, and it's always a small percentage.
Yeah.
And so let's say, just out of interest, for every 10 people you talk to, 1 buys. So a 10% conversion, yeah?
Yeah.
So you talk to 10 people, you talk to 10 brands, 1 of them pays you money. And let's say that brand deals $1,000. Yeah. So when they say yes, they're going to pay you $1,000. Well, I was taught to go, actually, they didn't pay you $1,000. Each of those 10 people paid you $100. So every time they say no, you made $100 because you do another 9 more, you get a yes.
Yeah.
And as you start to learn what that number is, it might be 10%, 30%, 4%, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can start to bank it. And so when I first started in sales here for this business, I would be like, my number was, at the time, it was $200 when I first started, $200 for every no. That's what I had worked out.
Yeah.
So I literally would like get off a call with someone who said no, and instead of being like, oh, damn, they said no, I'd turn to Claire, my partner, and be like, fuck, that was awesome, I just made $200.
Yeah.
And she's like, where? Who? What was it? What'd you sell for $200? I was like, no, they said no. And she's like,
what?
She's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? They said no. And I was like, no, they said no. 9 more to go and we're going to get a deal. And it would happen.
Yeah.
And then I'd get a deal and I'd be like, oh, I just made another $200. She's like, but you sold that actually for $200? I said, no, $2,000. But it paid for the other no's. And so when I made that switch, that every no was worth $200 to me, man, that was it. Confidence went through the roof because I literally celebrated every single no.
It's more a mindset thing as
100%.
well. Like, yeah, instead of like, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
It's no different to you. If you if you start in the pitch at 1,000 and you say, okay, but before we get into this, how many people say no to you now, roughly, do you reckon? Do you reckon on average, every brand deal you go, how many say no?
I don't know, because I haven't really approached. Like,
oh, no, them approaching you and you've sent your price.
Oh, and I've set my price. Yeah, I've had a few. Like,
do you reckon as a percentage, would you know? It's probably pretty low percentage.
Yeah, it's low because
your prices are pretty low.
Yeah, pretty low. So,
but what do you reckon? 10% say no?
Yeah,
50%?
I'd say
10.
Yeah.
So it's pretty low. Say no,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So if you flip that on its head and go, I only want 10% to say yes, that's a 10x almost thing, right? So you go, okay, I'm going to charge $2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably can't confidently do that. So let's start at 1,000. So I'm going to go 1,000, which I think will probably mean instead of 10% saying no, 90% are going to say no.
Yeah.
And you start pitching that. And then every time someone says, so that means for every 10 people, 1 says yes. So you are going to get 9 no's.
Yeah.
And sometimes that might be 30 no's before you get 1 yes, but then you'll get 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But on average, 9 people will say no before you get a yes. So that means every no is worth $100 to you. And if you can get that mindset in, you can start churning through deals and just be like, yep, this is what it is, and not care.
Yeah.
It's just do the numbers, which means you can start to outreach to more brands. You can walk down streets and be like, hey, are you keen to do some stuff? This is my TikTok. Like, I do this sort of thing. I charge $1,000 for this campaign. This is what you get for it. Nah, not interested. Cool. $100. Thank you. Next one. And then eventually, if you walk down Ponsonby Street and you started at Countdown, or you started at Deadwood Deli.
Yeah.
By the time you get 10 things, you get someone who's just like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Let's go, let's do this. Because what will happen is you'll walk in a business owner who's like, yeah, I love your channel. Your channel's awesome. Let's do this. $1,000.
Yeah.
And when you can start to get that mindset, it changes everything. Because then there's no rejection anymore. You never have rejection. No one ever says, like, I never get rejected because every no for me is money in the bank. The stakes then start to grow because you start to be able to charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And so you're no longer getting $100 for every no, you're getting $300 for every no, $400.
Yeah.
And so for me at the moment, I haven't actually worked it out, but like recently, because my mindset's so fixed on that, but mine's probably like $80,000 now for every no. I mean, we're in a different like model, right? But like it's probably like $80,000 for every no, which that's awesome. So I sit in there, have a pitch with someone and say, oh, we don't want it. I'm like, thanks for making me $80,000. That's how I actually think.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much anymore because I don't need to, but that's actually where my mind is. Cool. Shut that deal off next. Get closer to the yes.
Yeah.
It's this concept of like chasing the no's.
When do you go from like whether you try you know how like sometimes they'll say no, and then you can like sometimes you can sort of push. Like when do you know when to be like it's an absolute no? Like or somewhere you can pursue and
sometimes you can. So that's why you can't do it over email.
Yeah.
If they say no over email, just call it a loss and move on.
Yeah.
But if you're in person with someone, people suck at saying no. People don't like to decline offers. It's a real big phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
Like you can even see it when you're with like family. Family texts you, be like, hey, do you want to do this thing on the weekend? You're like, oh, I don't really want to do it. I'm just going to ignore this text. Hopefully they'll forget about it and I won't have to do it, right? How many times? I do it all the time. Because humans suck at declining offers.
Yeah.
So when you're with someone, they're not going to just go, nah, get out. They're just going to be like, oh, look, it's not really for us. And be like, oh, that's okay. Like, that's fine. Like, it wasn't really for Texas Chicken when they sort of did it, but then this happened. And you can start telling anecdotes around it.
Yeah.
You give up when you're pushing too hard. So usually what I'll do is like, if I'm working with someone on it, and like, at the end of the day, you're going into these places cold.
Yeah.
So they're going to push back pretty fast.
Yeah.
You just give it up and move on. Don't try too hard.
Okay.
But if someone's reached out to you and you said, let me come down, I'll see you on the weekend, we'll talk about it. If they, like, they're less likely to say no up front because they've actually asked you for it.
Yeah.
And you just say to them, like, I wouldn't give up until they're just like, no, this is not right for us.
Yeah.
And as soon as they say no, then just move on.
Yeah. Okay.
But if they've asked you to do it, they're not going to do that. They want to find a solution. Like they want it to work.
Yeah.
That's why they reached out in the first place. So usually if they say no up front to my pricing, I'd be like, well, what's the one thing we need to do to get this deal across the line?
Yeah.
Like what's one thing? What's the one thing stopping you right now from going yes? Well, it's the price. Okay, well, what price would make you say yes? And if they give you a number that's reasonable for you, that you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. I'm here now. Let's get this deal done. Then do it. And if it's too low that you're just like, nah, I've got a floor here I'm never going under, then just go, no, that's cool. Look, hey, I can't do that. I could do it for this at my lowest, but if you're not interested, that's fine. We'll walk away. You don't need to push too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take the no. Because remember, how much money did the no make you?
Yeah.
It made you $100. Take the $100 and go. Like, honestly, you got to think like that.
Yeah.
Like, just accept the no. It's a hard one to do, but like, when you start to think like that, like it changes everything. And like, it's transformed like my whole, like, it's what allowed my business to get where it is. Because like, it's the thing I'm best at is sales.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm so good at it is because I love when people decline me. Because it means I can shut that off, get it out of my mental space and move on to the next one. Which means I can do heaps of prospecting.
Yeah.
Like my target with the team is 20 prospect meetings a week. So it's like out of a 40-hour week, I spend half of it in coffees with prospects. Yeah. Which is huge for the owner of a company.
Yeah.
But I can do that because I get a kick out of the no's as well. I can get to no's real fast.
Like, would you analyze it as well? Like, wonder why they said no, or you just sort of like, no, that's it.
Yep, I do. 100% do. So like, I had a pretty big no the other day, which I thought I had forecasted as a yes. Like I thought we won it almost. Like, and then they said no, which is a bit of kick in the teeth. But like, I also took that no as like when they said no, I was like, oh shit, damn it. I assumed that was a yes. So that lesson was really good because I hadn't done that in a while where I assumed a yes before it came.
Yeah.
So that was another good lesson to be like, don't assume shit. Like, it's not a deal until they pay the money. And then also I realized that like in this particular case, I went too heavy on a personal branding approach with them. That's what I thought. Or it's what I know they needed. Yeah. I actually know it would have worked. Their feedback was like, oh, we don't really want to do personal branding. We want to do company branding. And still I'm like, that's not going to work. Like, it's not going to work for what you're trying to do. But what I should have done in hindsight is I should have went, yeah, cool. We'll do that. Let's just start the onboarding. And as we go through the process and we get to know each other better, I can show them why personal branding would be better. But they're now hooked in and paid me money.
Yeah.
So that was my lesson I learned. So in short, 100%. What was it wrong? Was it price?
Yeah.
Or was it that I didn't really understand the problem that they were trying to solve? So, I didn't really get it. And often for you with like restaurants and stuff, it's not price.
No, yeah.
It's not actually price. Like the long room makes heaps of money, right? Like, you know, or like I'm just using them top of my mind, but like it's not price. They don't understand the value you provide.
Yeah.
And until you can convince them of that value, which is done through you uncovering their need. That's why I say do it in person, right? Because you're going to say, oh, what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Like, why did you reach out? Like, what were you hoping to get from me? Oh, we're just hoping to get more exposure. Why? What are your goals? Are you short on customers?
Yeah.
Like, do you need people to come in and try a specific type of thing? Are you launching a new product? Like, what is the goals? Like, really get to understand their problem that they have and solve for that. And go, well, so like, for instance, like, let's say it's like a launch thing and be like, what do you need? What do you need in terms of exposure? Like, how many people do you think come through here? Do you know your numbers? Do you know how many people will come through if they see this? Like, have you got goals you're trying to achieve? Because maybe you can make 5 bits of content.
Yeah.
So by talking to them, getting to know them, stuff like what they're really after, you understand the value that they are trying, like what they're paying for.
Yeah.
They're not paying you for being a creator. That's not actually what they're paying. They're paying you to solve a problem for them.
Mm.
So what is that problem?
Yeah.
And then price that. Then you stop pricing for that. Like, this is a whole nother conversation that we don't even have time to get into, and it's like on top of the rate card stuff we've done.
Good. Like,
no, but like,
I'm learning a lot.
but you've like had 2 levels here. I would usually tell someone this sort of stuff once they've got the rate card stuff sorted. I still think your next step is get your rate card stuff sorted.
Yeah.
But then your next thing is when you get into sales is like going in and understanding the value that restaurant places on this piece of creative. Like, what does it do for you? Because some of them be like, oh, no, it's just like we just thought of some cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Are you just wanting more customers? What's a customer worth to you? Oh, look, our average spends $70. Okay, so like you would need 30 more customers to make $2,000 back from us. Plus, you've probably only running on a 20% margin.
Yeah.
So actually, you probably need 150 customers from this piece of content.
So like a brand, like example, like a brand always reaches out. Like a lot of those, they've reached out. Like, oh, we'll send you this product. Can you do this and this and this for me, right? I'll say yes to it. Can you also ask them to charge? Can you charge them as well? Because I like, my thinking is like, oh, well, they've already sent me, like, my partner's like, have they paid? Like, oh my, but he's really like, he's really good. Like, I'm like, oh no, but like, they've already given me a free one. And he's like, so
they sent you free stuff.
So they sent
and then asked you to do it, like sent you a PR pack.
Yeah.
And then go, hey, by the way, could you do this stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
But didn't ask you to do it before sending you the stuff.
No.
Okay, so 2 answers. 1, definitely ask for money if they're big enough.
Yeah.
Because if they're small, like, you know, like let's say it's like a side hustle from someone out of their house, they probably don't have any money. So then you have to consider, okay, can I make cool content with this to grow my followers? Yeah. So can I leverage their brand to grow me? That's a different conversation. That's okay to do because that's actually leveraging you for future brand deals.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's like owned by Unilever or, you know, like Johnson & Johnson owns it or something like that. Whatever. I'm like in this country it's probably different. I'm thinking other things, but like let's say it's like McDonald's. Let's just say McDonald's. This is a stupid example, but like 100%. Look, I'm happy to do it, but this is my rate card. Let me know if you agree to it. This is what I'm going to do in the same rate card that we talked about.
Yeah.
And if they say no, then either 2 things. You have to decide: can I leverage that thing to make good content?
Yeah.
Or do I just kill it? Do I just use it personally and fuck it?
Oh, okay.
You have to always decide. There is nothing wrong with doing free videos that make it look like it's ad. You just say it's an ad.
Yeah.
And now brands are like, oh, she's doing ads.
Yeah.
She's doing sponsored. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. Like, no, honestly. It's like in the creative world, let's say you're a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And you're just starting out and you're a freelancer. Most of your portfolio in the beginning is all pro bono work. You've just helped mates, you've designed them logos, you've done stuff because no one's paid you yet.
Yeah.
And so you build up this library of work and you go out. Same thing you're doing. Like, I've got all these brands that have sent me stuff. I'm just going to call it an ad. And now when other brands come into it and you give them a rate card, you'll have examples like this video I did for McDonald's. It got 80,000 views. Yeah. This is what you can expect. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they're going, oh, so they paid, and you say, McDonald's paid you $2,000. Well, fuck it, McDonald's paid you, I'll pay you $2,000.
Yeah.
All that stuff psychologically helps. Like big brands that we work with, or even any brand we work with, they're more willing to give me money today. I find it easier to sell bigger services because of the history of what we've done for people. And there have been people that we've blown up on TikTok or LinkedIn who have paid us fuck all relatively.
Yeah.
But they're good people. I like them. I'm happy to work with them. We're not losing money, but they're good advertising for us.
Yeah.
Because then we can go to people,
and
look at this
content
guy.
and stuff. Yeah. That's
You know what I
true.
mean? So it's a real like multifaceted answer. The simple answer to your question is absolutely you can ask people for money. They sent you a gift, but like you're under no obligation to do anything for that.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure about it, then yeah, pay me. Now, when the hard thing about that is that, and this is why I say YouTube's where you should get to, because review shows on YouTube do really well, but they do really well on YouTube, but YouTube pays you. So then you never have to charge. And that allows you to be super independent on your review.
Yeah.
Because if someone's paying you, then they're going to be like, well, I'm only going to pay if you do a positive review.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like a lot of it's like, or they'll give a brief. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes why like I'll look at stuff that gets sent to me. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like I've had a few.
Yeah.
Like I had 3 last week. I don't want to do this. Like this is too much. You're asking for a lot. Like,
yeah. If I was you, what I would do is if they send it unannounced, like unsolicited, just send you shit, I would start doing real reviews on actually what you think about it. Like actually, like if it's good, say good stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's bad, say bad stuff. Like eat lit food. He doesn't give a fuck.
No, oh my gosh, I know.
He doesn't, and he is ruthless with the way he rips people apart.
Yeah.
But that helps with him. It helps with his brand. It helps with everything that he's doing moving forward. And you can get other people to sponsor other things. Like, we're going to probably need to wrap this up soon. I'm going off on a tangent. But like there's a YouTube channel I watch called Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips will get sent stuff to review from like, say, Samsung.
Yeah.
But he'll get another sponsor for that video. So Samsung doesn't have to pay him. So he can do an honest review. So then he'll get a side brand to it that will do something. So that's something else you could do. Like, for instance, you could have like, let's say like Joe's with you in the video, right? Yeah. And this is totally out there, but let's say like Barker's was the sponsor of a video for KFC, and he's dressed by Barker's going in to eat at KFC or something. You know, I'm just making shit up. But you get what I mean?
Like,
That's how you can do sponsored views of honest reviews.
Yeah.
Because once the brand pays you, no good review is ever a good review anymore.
Yeah.
Because, you got paid for that.
And then people like
can't trust you.
You can see, and that's the last thing I want to do is like you sell out.
So that's another hard thing.
Yeah.
And not all brands will pay you for an honest review.
Yeah.
So it's so complicated here and how you do this, but like I think there are options. I think rate card's the first thing. Sales is the second part of what you need to look at, and then I mean we're sort of like an hour and a bit into this now, and I probably need to wrap up, but. I reckon, just looking at my notes, I reckon like those two things will completely transform where you're at and where you're going. It's not going to happen overnight, but like over the next, there's no reason over the next year you can't get it to a point where you're earning enough money from it. If you do that properly and you take the chances to grow. Yeah. And then YouTube. Just start putting this stuff on YouTube. Don't even do anything else. Yeah. Just put your shorts on YouTube. Pure shorts channel. Repurpose it, see how it goes. And then long term, you could do more long form ones on YouTube.
And then I can be like, there you go, mum and dad. So like you actually make like people, my siblings and my parents, like they laugh. And then like so my partner now knows like, I'm like, wait. They already know. They just, everyone waits like, have you finished? So they'll just wait for me and then I'll do my little filming. And so
100%.
like,
mate, welcome to our world.
Like my parents, I know, like they're like, people pay you for this? I'm like, yeah. You got sent this? Yeah.
The other day, I don't know if you saw my one where we did the cheeseburgers.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know if you could see in that video, but like soon as I pulled that out, like there was like 12 people sitting at the table. Everyone was like, wait. Phones. Everyone had to get their phone. Like I think everyone on the team, just about, well not everyone, but like maybe like 6 or 7 people all have a video of it. Same thing.
Especially like my mum and dad. I had a deal with Lone Star, and I took them to Lone Star, and my dad was like, "So this is what you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, the food's cold by the time we eat it. And I was like, just leave it.
That's so funny. That's so funny. It's hard for people to understand today. Like, it's a different world. Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, that's why, like, on my personal stuff, I don't tend to do, like, when I'm out eating, because I don't do reviews on food. I'll talk about places I eat, but I tend to do like this shot that I'm doing here, just like the static time lapse one.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, Claire's always out, like, taking photos and stuff. And I'm like, you don't even post shit. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, you don't even put this out. Like, just let me fucking eat my burger. But yeah, it's good. All right. That was cool. That was fun.
Sweet.
So I am keen to hear you try some of this. Yeah. And then, like, you can message me and just be like, hey, I tried it. Failed miserably, Stan, fuck you. Or, hey, I just made $1,500 on a video.
Yeah.
Like, my biggest thing is, like, try to get that mindset of, like, go for the nose. You're better off getting one deal for $2,000 or $1,000 than 5 deals at 200.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah,
I think so.
Cool.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for having
awesome.
me.
Thank you. Catch ya.